Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lewandowski, you ran President Trump's campaign between January 2015 and June 2016. Is that right?
Yes.
You were at the helm of the campaign when President Trump secured the Republican nomination.
Yes.
Pretty good campaign you ran.
Thank you.
I mean, you beat, what, 17, 18 different opponents, senators, governors, some good senators. Of course, you had a pretty good candidate.
The best.
Pretty good candidate who I think has done a great job as President of the United States. After you left the campaign, I think you left in June of 2016, after you left the head of the campaign, were you still involved with the campaign throughout the rest of the election, all the way up through November 8th, 2016?
Yes.
In that entire time. So you were part of the campaign operation at some level or another from January 2015 to November 8th, 2016. During that entire time, did you guys ever work with Russia to impact the election?
No.
And you know what's interesting, Mr. Lewandowski? When Jim Comey was asked that same question, sitting at that same table, he gave the same answer. When Bob Mueller was asked that same question, sitting at that same table, he gave the same answer. Falsely accused, the president is falsely accused of colluding with a foreign state to impact the election. Jim Comey, when we deposed him at that very table, said after 10 months of investigation, we didn't have a thing. Bob Mueller gets named special counsel. He wastes $30 million of taxpayer money, 22-month investigation. He sits at that table just a few weeks ago and gives the same darn answer. But these guys over here, they don't care. They don't care. They don't want to get to what Mr. Chavez said. They don't want to figure out how the false accusation happened. They just want to drag people in front of this committee and keep trying to find some way they can go after the president. Let's go back to the process that the ranking member raised. Did you testify in front of the Senate Intel Committee in 2017?
Yes.
Did you testify in front of the House Intelligence Committee in 2017?
Yes.
And you went before the special counsel and answered his questions in 2018. Is that right?
It is.
And you did that all voluntarily?
Yes.
No subpoena?
No, sir.
You said, I'm willing to comply, give answers, answer all the questions you got.
Yes.
I think in your opening statement you said 20-some. How many hours did you sit in front of those various committees?
More than 20.
More than 20 hours. And for this committee, did you get a letter from this committee back in March asking you to comply with certain document requests that Chairman Nadler wanted to have?
I believe so, yes.
And you and your legal team complied with that?
Yes, sir.
And then on June 24th, you got another letter. Is that right?
Yes.
June 24th of this year, you got another letter asking you to do an interview, a transcribed interview in front of the committee. And your lawyer contacted Chairman Nadler and said, we'd be happy to do that. Is that right?
Yes.
Said, give us some dates. We'll come in. We'll be happy to sit for an interview.
That's right.
What happened next?
Next, about 5 weeks ago, the committee issued a subpoena for my appearance.
So you're willing to come voluntarily, just like you did with Senate Intel, House Intel, just like you did for Bob Mueller, for the special counsel, 20-some hours. You're willing to do that all. You complied with when they asked you for certain documents, and then when they want you to come in for an interview, you said, all right, sure, we'll do it. They hit you with a subpoena.
Correct.
And then they start calling you names, saying, close up that book, answer the question, start treating you this way. Kind of interesting. They're the ones who started it. They're the ones who slapped you with the subpoena when you were willing to come here voluntarily.
I was.
And then they question what the demeanor you bring here today. I mean, first they changed the rules last week in the middle of the Congress, changed the rules of the committee in the middle of the game, and then today they're not even going to follow the rules because the rules they changed last week talk about staff asking questions at the end, after members are done. We got this whole issue with consultants. So maybe we would be better served if we did exactly what Mr. Chavez said. Maybe we would be better served as the House Judiciary Committee if we actually focused on how this whole false accusation started in the first place. What do you think, Mr. Lewandowski?
I think it'd be a great idea.
Great idea. Maybe the American people would be better served than spending more time investigating something that's already had 32 months of investigation from both Jim Comey and the FBI and Bob Mueller and the special counsel. Maybe we would do that. And you know a great place to start? Great place to start, Mr. Chairman. I asked you about this 1 week ago today. Great place to start would be the Inspector General's report that was issued just 3 weeks ago. The scathing report about Jim Comey. That'd be a nice place to start. But when I asked the chairman when we might have an opportunity to question Mr. Horowitz, he said, I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Of course you haven't thought about that. Too busy trying to impeach the president. Too busy slapping subpoenas on Corey Lewandowski. Of course you haven't thought about that's what the committee should be focused on. I yield back.